So we've got this far and now I've hit the wall, literally. I don't know who originally put this blocking down, but yeah, he wasn't expecting it to fall down anytime soon, was he? So all I've got is my little rotary hammer drill there to break through that. So it's 20 degrees already, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm sweating like a pig. I'll crack on and do a bit more. Jesus Christ, a foot deep, over a foot thick. So it might not look much, but geez, it's tough stuff, I'll tell you that much. But it seems to be doing too bad now. I've got it undermined. These rotary hammer drills, I mean, this is out my van what I have for work, but if you've got anything like this to do at home, these make your life, you know, so much easier. And if you've got to break out concrete like this, I see so many people who've never done it before and they sit banging away on the top like that and they'll be there for hours and hours and hours. What you've always got to try and do is get yourself somewhere to break it into. And you see how I've bust this out the bottom here? Now it's given me a void underneath. The top just broke off real easy. So you look at this, look. That's one-handed and I'm not bit difficult one-handed. It's a bit difficult to do it one-handed, but it'll break that out really easy. And the other thing with these drills, if you ever buy one or hire one to do a job like this, don't press on too hard. What you want to be doing is, see, I've just literally got the weight of my arm on that drill. If you don't have enough weight on, that happens. All you want to do is just put enough pressure on to stop that and don't press too hard, because if you do, it just doesn't hammer very well. See what I mean? And it's not just cement, that, boys, it is proper concrete. I suppose this driveway's been down and all this blocking maybe, oh, it could have been down 15, 20 years. Well, whoever did it, he knew what he was doing and did a good job. I might just be tempted to say he went a bit overboard here, like, but anyway, never mind. We'll crack on and do a bit more. Right, from that last clip to now has been about 2 minutes. That's how long it took to get the rest of that out. So it just shows, doesn't it? You get yourself somewhere to break it into, makes life a lot easier. Right, I'll start pulling these blocks up now, I think. So that lot's out. Got the block paving pulled up to the drain. That's what I've got to dig down and find. That's only about 400 mil to the bottom. That's 400 mil. About 16 inch. So I'll see if I can get that to digger up there a little bit, I think, and just see if I can reach in and scoop some of this out with a digger bucket. Well, I thought I got through the worst bit down there. Look, it's concrete all the way underneath. That's going to be an absolute... Problem is I've got nothing bigger than that little drill to break it out with. I don't know how far it extends. Could go right underneath the digger to where in fact that bit I broke out there could be the edge of it. Oh God. I think this is one of them jobs that's going to fight me all the way, isn't it? Anyway, let's see if I can break a little hole in it and see if I can get an idea how thick it is. Alright, This is where we've got to. There's my pipe, and this is the concrete that I've got to deal with. It's what time is it now? It's 25 past 5. I've been at this since about 10 o'clock this morning, and I'm giving up now. It's 30 degrees. I'm cooking. That's the other issue with this concrete. Look, it's also full of rebar. I don't know what the freaking hell they thought that was ever going to be on here, but I suppose back in the day when they built them properly, didn't they? So I spoke to my local builders merchants, and I can go in the morning and hire either a hydraulic breaker or one of the big electric breakers. So I'm going to, you can see where I've gone down there with my still saw. Look. I'm going to cut the rest and get the saw bit finished, and then hopefully, well, not hopefully in this weather, everything will have dried off by the morning. I'll go down and fetch the breaker, and then I'll have another go. I have a feeling that it's going to take me longer to do this part of this than it is to actually do the tank and everything else, because Jesus Christ, well, you can see in that hole down there, look how thick it is. I don't know if the camera will sort of show it, but you know, it's best part of, so it's about 8 inches thick in its widest bit, goes down to about 4 at the other end, and then in there as well, look, it's really thick. So I'm standing there room and just trying to keep out the sun. So that's it. I'll cut the rest of that out now and break her in the morning. So now we're not doing so bad. This is the second hammer. Went to get the first one and it just didn't seem to have any go in it whatsoever. So I went back and they plugged it in and tried it there, and they was in agreement it wasn't right. They got this one out, plugged this one in, and it's a different beast again. I've just, you can see there, what I've just broken out there has taken me about a couple of minutes to do that little bit at the end, which was the thinnest bit of the concrete. I was at that for half an hour, and I just thought, I'm going to be here all bloody day at this rate. So it just seems that my luck is continuing on the same sort of level. I'm getting loads and loads of luck, it's just the wrong sort. So anyway, get the rest of this broken out. At least with this hammer that's working really well, I can widen it a little bit on the left hand side there, just to make sure my pipe will go in. And then we'll crawl up a little bit further with the digger and pull the rest out. Right, quick round up where we got to. That's I can't remember now what I've shown and what I haven't. But that's coming from the back of the house down here. I've got a trench all the way down to here. It's about 600mm deep, which is what I need to get a constant fall down here. That obviously, before, I've said before that that area there is where the tank's going to go. So continuing on down here, I've had a few days away because I've had to go back to work and what have you, but it's all getting a bit much. So, right, we've got a trench there that's 1 metre deep, and I just had to fill in the end of that one so I could track down here and dig that one down, because it wasn't quite deep enough. So that's now 1 metre deep, which is what I'm after. And so I've got a trench from the end of here up towards that bush there, but before I do that, I've got to get two more trenches, one down here somewhere and then one along the edge of that flowery bit there. All these are going to be 1 metre deep. I've got, what's 1 metre deep, 3 foot something or other in it, and I've got 300mm of 20mm gravel to go in the bottom. 300mm is about 1 foot for our American friends, and then I've got to lay the pipe on top of the gravel, and I've got to cut a load of slots in the bottom of the pipe, and then when all the pipe's in and up to there, I've got to cover that pipe with stone. I only need to cover it by a couple of inches, 50mm, and then hopefully this lot can be backfilled in. So it's Tuesday today, my tank's coming tomorrow. I'm going to get my mate on the corner right over there, the farmer, he's going to come down and lift it off with his forklift, and hopefully behind the digger over there, behind that willow tree, I'm going to get him to poke it over with his forklift and drop it over there somewhere. So if you can see where those digger buckets are there, I'm going to get him to drop. Oh, actually, can you see just through the bushes there, there's the top of my burning bin. He'll poke it over there and drop the tank there. But what I have realised as well is, you know, when I worked out how much stone I want, worked out roughly at about 8 tonne. Well, it's near enough as cheap to get 10 tonne delivered as it is for 8. So we've gone for 10 tonne, but there's no way I want to barrow 10 tonne of stone down the garden here, because it'll just be a nightmare. My son's going to come home this Friday from the army, and he's going to help me Friday, rest of the day Friday when he gets here, and Saturday and Sunday. And I'm going to hire one of those little tiny dump trucks, you know, that will near enough go through a doorway. They told me it'll hold nearly half a ton, well, it'll hold 500 and something kilos. So I don't know how heavy the stone is, but we should be able to get a fair bit in the bucket each time. So once I've got all this lot trenched out and the tank in the hole, I think what I'm going to do then is I'll track the digger to the front of the house where the stone's going to be, keep loading it in the dumper. You'll see I'm trying to make a bit of room either side of the trench to see if I can drive this little dumper up the trench and tip it straight in. Is my plan, and that's what I've tried to do down here as well. I tried to give myself a little bit of room this side. Whether that's going to work or not, I don't know yet. We'll find out. So, but now I'm going to track round and then start trenching from here, you know, back down to this trench and get these other 2 in, and then that's it. So little digger seems to be going all right. Yeah, we'll create a little Volvo for anybody's interested. Right, we'll crack on. Okay, right, we've got a little bit more of a development. So coming from that bush there, when I dig that out to put my tank in, and down here, and then the way this is going to work is, if I just come back in a little bit, you can see we've got, where's my finger gone there, we've got that trench going up there, and then along the back down here I've got to extend this one a bit, and then this trench then will go along here under the digger all the way up to that bush, and this will all be connected in a big loop. Now I was going to have to move all this muck, I was going to have to pull it towards me, stand it all down here and dig a separate, another trench in the middle to give me the amount of pipe work I really need in the ground. But a stroke of luck, and trust me, the way my freaking life's been going lately, with cars breaking down and people running into me in the van and a few other things that has been going wrong, it's about time my luck changed. So you see on that pile there, you see all the bits of pot pipe. I have, I was given a drawing by my neighbour, and on that drawing it shows that all the land drains in this field over the hedge here and all around here, and there was one of those land drains was put in, and it runs, according to the drawing, straight underneath the corner of my garden, which would put it under my polytunnel. That trench that I dug along the back there first was me trying to find it. Anyway, I couldn't find it, so I presumed it would be under the polytunnel, and I thought if I ever needed extra soak away, I'll have to hand dig through into the polytunnel until I find it and then connect into the land drain. But would you look down there, look. You see that? That's an 8-inch land drain, and it's surrounded in clinker. It runs in this direction there, goes to the corner of my garden, straight across that field all the way over there to that ditch. I must have, I'm going to be conservative here, but an extra 60 to 70 metres of soak away. If I'd known that was there, technically I could have just dug one trench down here straight into the land drain and the soak away, because what you got to remember is that the tank that I'm going to put in is a cloud jester unit, as they're called. So it's a sewage treatment plant, so the water that comes out of it is, they say it's clean enough to drink, but my testicles will never be that big as to try it. So, but theoretically I could have come down there, couldn't I, if I'd have known this land drain was here, connected into that and just let it drain down through the existing drains. But I'm going to carry on and get this lot round here finished. So I've got to extend this trench anyway, just further along underneath my digger, so that then we're in line with that bush, and then just come round behind me, connecting to the end of that one there. So I'll put a loop in here, but the angle that that's coming through, I'm actually going to cross it again here somewhere. So I'll actually be broken into that land drain in 2 separate spots. And yeah, about time I had a bit of luck. I mean, it's in my garden, so, you know, it's what's possession 9/10 of the law. But when I put the pipe in, I'm going to, you know, put a load of stone in there, so I won't affect how the land drain works, and we should be okay. Because from my house, I don't know whether we can tell on camera, but the ground falls from my house all the way down here. And if I stand there and shine down, well, not shine, but look down the fields, the ground naturally all runs away. So it's a slight valley all the way. See the 2 big trees down there? There's a little stream runs down there. And then on that side there where you see all these hedges, there is a ditch, runs all the way down there. And that's where all the existing sewage tanks run to. But they've all obviously got to be changed now to sewage treatment plants. So that continues down there. You see the big poplar tree in the corner, and runs into that dike. So, and on my drawing I've actually got a drawing of all the land drains in that field, and they all run at an angle like straight across there to that ditch, but just this side of that ditch the land drains don't actually go into it, but there is one bigger pipe that's underground all the way down that hedge side that meets up in that bottom corner, but there is one outlet in this corner, and it's that one I found there. So about time something went right. Right, we'll crack on. We'll get this dug out to here, and then we'll start digging this bit up here. It's going to make life so much better now, because I ain't got to put that middle trench in, so I can actually pull some of this dirt back and give myself a bit of room now to get in with that little dumper when I get it. In fact, I must ring them now and get it ordered. I'll do that before I start digging. Well, I've gotten down to depth at one end of the hole anyway. It's it's a freaking big hole, I tell you. I am down to depth at the far end there. There is a little bit of loose stuff in there to come out, but I've still got to come another metre towards me, I suppose. So I'm having to dig myself a way in. Get a bit more of an idea from there, look. So I've got to dig down again there where that bit of light sandy stuff is, so I can get the machine down a bit further to get that last bit out the bottom, and then I've still got to come back this way, maybe another metre. So we're getting there, but bloody hell, it's painfully slow. I mean, look at the dirt. I mean, Christ knows what I'm going to do with it all. Well, I do know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to have to get it out to the front of the house somehow, and on the little dumper maybe, and get it taken away, but there could be upwards of 30 tonne to get rid of. Anyway, we'll crack on. Well, actually no, it's lunchtime. So we've got our 10 tonne of stone, and just grab all this graft on the way down there. The son's home today, so we've made a little road down the side of it. Past the workshop, past the dog kennel. So this is the little machine I've hired. Believe it or not, that little thing holds half a ton. Yeah, I think he's still getting to grips with it a bit yet. So I've already put one load into this end, and the only problem is we've had a lot of rain the last few days, and the bits of clay that's on the surface is real sticky underfoot. Just move that out of the way. So, right, well, we'll carry on with this, and then we'll see where we get to a bit later. You want to say hello, son? There you go, Anna. My hole's got exceedingly bigger. That's my 6 foot level. There's my house over there, look. And that's yeah, I've just got that bit there in the corner, that bit there to dig out there, and then I should be done. So anyway, we'll talk later. Cheers. Right, have a quick check on where we've got up to. I'm filming this as I'm sort of doing a job just with my phone, so the hole is pretty much there now. I've just got a bit of loose stuff to take out the bottom there at this end. It's Saturday today. I've been at this since Tuesday. So, well, I've been on my own all the time apart from yesterday. My son came home from the army, and I can't remember if I've already filmed this or not, so if I have, you'll just have to, it is what it is. We've got this square trench all around there, all filled in with a foot of stone, and I've been this morning and fetched a load of pipe. If you're ever going to do this yourself, you can buy this pipe. Well, what I've done, I've gone along this, you should be able to see the slot lines with a steel saw, and cut all my own slots in it. You can buy this pipe with the slots already cut in, but it is more than double the price of this. So I've just gone up and down with a trusty steel saw every 8 inches and put a nice slot in it. So that's where we're up to now. So my son told me he'd be here at 10 o'clock this morning, and he went out with his mates for a pint last night, and it's now, just gone 12 o'clock. He's just turned up, and now he wants to go and have a shower. So anyway, I've cut them slots just in case anybody ever watches this. I've cut them every 8 inches, and I'm not halfway through the pipe. You don't want to go too far, because talking to a friend of mine who'd done a few of these, if you go too mad with your cuts and you're laying the pipe in the trench and you drop it, you'll just shatter the pipe in half, because you're taking a lot of the integrity out of it, aren't you? So I really need my boy out here really to give me a hand to lower this in. But anyway, I can get the next pipe laid out, ready to go in here, and get some slots cut in it, and I can do the same for the pipe to go along there and round the back. So where I'm at today, I want to get this pipe in. I've got to cover it with 50mm of stone, so I'm hoping to get all that done to here, and I'll have a T-piece in here ready to carry on up that trench. And once I've got the tank in, he says, Monday morning I've got some concrete coming, about 2 ton, which I've got to mix myself the other side of the house and barrow it down here. So I need 6 inch of a 6-inch concrete slab in the bottom of the hole to sit the tank on, which will be a bit of work in itself, but it's got to be done. I'm not too worried about that. It's how I'm going to get that in that hole. I mean, I don't know if it, I've said before, I mean, that tank's, it's nearly taller than me. Where is it? I can't remember now. I have a feeling I'll end up going over. Yeah, it's about the same size as me, so it's 6.5 foot high. It's getting on nearly, 3 meters long, and well, the hole I've dug is 2.1 meters deep by about 1.8 meters wide, and it is 2.8 meters long. So that just gives you an idea, doesn't it? But it's getting it in the hole. The little digger will pick it up, but I can only lift it just off the floor before I'm at the full height reach of the digger. So I've been talking with a mate of mine across the road and a couple of other lads, and we're going to have to see how we can get it in. What I'm concerned about is I don't really want to be standing on this loose stuff either side of the hole, because the idea behind this is you dig the hole just big enough to get the tank in, so that you don't have to put so much stone and concrete around it when you've got it in there. But that in itself causes a little bit of a problem, in that if I knock any loose stuff off and it goes down and sits on top of the concrete below the base of the tank, I can't get to it to get it out. So it's going to be rather interesting. It's not something I'm going to try and film, because it's going to be it's going to be a very tricky operation, I know it is, and I don't want to add more hassle to it by trying to film it as I'm doing it. But once I've got it in, I will switch the video camera back on again, and I'll show you where we've got to. So Anyway, I'll crack on and get some slots cut in these pipes and then get these in, connected up and stoned up. Right, this is where we've got to. That was 10 ton of stone I had delivered. I think I've still got about 5 or 6 there. I've just brought that lot out. That's taken me an hour and a bit maybe, but I did have some bushes and everything to take down. I seem to have spent I've spent more time in a hole this week messing around with a bush around it than you can ever imagine. It's been one of them weeks, and it's finally stopped raining, so it's dry today. So let me just get up here and put my cup of coffee down. So here we are next to the hole, and this is all the spoil and all the dirt and everything I've took out, along with all that lot on the other side. So getting this tank in, I had a bit of a think about it, and what I'm going to try and do is, I was thinking last night that, you know, I need to be able to lower the bloody thing into the hole, don't I? And I thought, well, how am I going to do it here? I've got nothing here to do it. But I thought, well, I've got the digger, haven't I? So what my plan is to lift the tank with a mini digger and slowly bring it round here. I may have to just dig a bit more of this out this side here, just to help me get down, and slowly get the tank down here. Where I'm stood here, I'm about 1 metre below ground level. If I can get it to just here, then as you can see up there, look, I'm slowly eating my way through this heap, and I want to create myself a little bit of a level platform along here, possibly just past this bloody great big fir tree. And then I'm hoping if the tank is where I'm stood, I should be able to reach across, pick it up, because the digger will pick it up. It's only a couple of 100 kilos, that tank. But the trouble is, when the digger picks it up when you're on the same ground level as the tank is, it'll only lift it by about 6 inches, and then it's your lot. So I'm thinking if I get the machine up there and then swing over to where I'm stood now, lift the tank and track back towards the back end of my workshop really slowly, I should then be able to drop it down into the hole. But like I said before, I'm not going to try filming this as I'm doing it, because the tanks are, well, they're not the strongest thing in the world. I don't know whether I got that yesterday. I got my pipe in and everything all around to soak away. It's all stoned up, ready to go. I've got some membrane now to go over the top. But yeah, going back to the tank, they're not the strongest thing in the world, so you've got to be pretty bloody careful with them. So anyway, that's the plan that I've come up with. As Baldrick would say, it's a cunning plan. Now whether it'll work or not it's another thing, but we've got to try something, haven't we? Because I really want to get this week, it's Sunday today, and this week coming I really want this tank in, and I want the pipe work and everything connected up, and I want to start getting things backfilled, and by the end of the week I don't really want to have that much left to do. But it is a bit difficult when you're doing it on your own, because everything just seems to take that much longer. It's like taking the little dumper up to the front there and tipping the muck. Of course I have to jump off the machine once the dumper's full, go and tip the dumper and come back. Now if my son was here, which I think he's going to be back on Monday, I think he says he took a week off work, I could be then grading off where I'm stood, couldn't I, while he's tipping that dumper and comes back again. So it just generally just speed things up quite a lot. So anyway, we've got nice clear blue sky, well not clear blue skies, but a nice day for a change. For the last 4 days it's done nothing but bloody rain. So we'll crack on and yeah, we'll do a bit more. Because I don't want to be late today. What time is it? It's 1:30, and I've got a date this afternoon with a very attractive lady. So I'm going to go, I know her, so we're going to go out for for a walk around Lincoln, around the historic part, and have a coffee and find somewhere to get something to eat if we can. And then I shall be back late tonight, and then we'll crack on with this again. Well, not tonight, but in the morning. Smile for the viewers, kiddo. I don't really think they needed to see your arse, but anyway, there you go. Some might.
That's a good booty, that.
A good booty, is it?
Yeah.
So what we're doing now, boys and girls, we're doing the concrete to go in the bottom of the hole, and Princess is mixing it 6-1, and we're doing a fairly sloppy mix. Those bags there are ton bags, so once we've got one in the bottom, I'm going to slip my wellies on, go down, level it out a bit, and see where we go, but I think it's going to take both bags. But anyway, we'll keep the boy busy for a bit anyway. So, Al's a happy man. There she be. It actually went in okay, actually. And although I think the casting on the tank is slightly out, can we zoom into the bubble there? We're is that going to focus? Focus on that bubble. I think you get the idea anyway. So when I dropped it in there, it was 2 inches low at that end. So you can see I've got the digger next to me here. So I managed to get back on the strap, lift it up and jump under that end and scratch some of the concrete out because it hasn't yet gone off. So that was quite handy. It's still fairly green. I know it sounds a bit dangerous getting under that end, but I was well strapped up and everything, and the tank's not that heavy. So tomorrow in the morning we shall stick the hose pipe in this end, and we will start to get some water in it, and we need to be about 1/3 full before we start the backfilling operation, and then hopefully get the inlet connected and fill that end of the hole in over there, look, where I had to dig myself down to get in with the machine, and then further down the garden, you know, we can see the end of the trench, so extend that up here. So yeah, it seems to have taken an age to get here, and the hole seemed absolutely massive along with the tank, but now it's all in the hole, it just doesn't seem that big anymore. But anyway, I'm relieved it's in. So we shall resume in the morning. So as you can see, we've got the British Army again digging now. So she's stoned all the way around to just above the lip. So we've just got that last little bit in the corner there to do, and then maybe a couple more load of stone, so that then the stone will be just above that lip all the way around the tank. So that'll do, Jack. I'll bring some more stone round, boy. Okay. And then we'll get that inlet connected. The tank's full. Well, it's not full actually. It's 1/3 full, is what I should have said. It's 1/3 full of water. So we'll get some more, yeah. So as you can sort of see, we're cracking on because it's forecast rain this afternoon. So we've been up this morning, we've got out here, and we haven't had any breakfast or anything. Just want to get as much done as I can before it rains. Maybe said before in the series of little video clips that this little barricades, it really is actually. You can see from the side here now. We're looking good. So if I had the money, you know, for the size of my garden, which is not massive, I'd buy myself a little mini digger and one of these. There we go. So remember before I said that we'd bought 10 ton of stone to do this, and I think I needed about 8 really. It was cheap to get 10 delivered. as it was to get 8 delivered. So that's what we've got left. I say we've got 1, 2, 3, we've got about 4 tonne there. So anyway, we'll get it loaded up again and we'll tip this. The boys just cleaning out the mixer. So we're now officially connected up all the way down there, look, to the tank. So I'll show you what we've got done down here. We're sort of getting a little bit pushed for time. Well, not pushed for time. We're sort of fighting the weather a bit because it's forecast rain later on this afternoon. Well, I'm saying later on this afternoon, it's 20 to bloody 4 now. So that's back from up there, look. We've got the pipe all the way in down here. We've got a manhole chamber in there. So if I need to, I can rod back up to the house if I have an issue. And I can also, what we've got coming out of there is, the pipe goes like that. It's got a long sweeping elbow on it. It comes through here and then sweeps into the tank. I've got the vent pipe there, which I shall cut down to size once we've got everything backfilled. I've got electric cable to get in there, which I shall most probably go and get tomorrow, because tomorrow it's forecast to piss it down all day. I'm hoping that manhole's going to be about the right height. If not, I'll have to trim a bit off the top. This one here, I forgot to put in yesterday, so I've had to just scrap this bit out. If you look in there, look, you'll see we've got the 2 pipe ends. So it's sunk into about, I don't know, 3 inches of cement at the bottom. And the idea behind that is that if they ever, the powers that be ever want to take a test sample of what's coming out of my system, they can take it from there. So Jack's just, oh, there's a little blackbird. She's been with me all week. She's been as close as about 3 foot away from me. And Christ knows how many worms and invertebrates and things she's had out of the blooming ground, but she's obviously got a lot of chicks somewhere, and she's under the digger. What are you doing, sweetie? Anyway, I digress. So I'm going to leave this bit here now and let that go off. I've got another little riser there, look, which will fit on the top of there to get me out of the ground. And I'm going to do the same with that as I have with the vent pipe and that manhole. I'm going to set them all just a bit above ground, and I shall trim them all to suit when we get done. So we've got this lot to backfill, which will do that. Well, I'm just going to say tomorrow, but I think it's going to be more like Friday, judging by the weather forecast. You can see there where the ground's sort of fairly reasonably level there, then it goes up a bit. I'm going to take that hump out. Whoever had put the pond in there that was in there originally, that's where they put all the spoil when they dug it out. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to scrap that off level. And then for the rest of the day, we're going to go down the bottom of the garden, right down there, and we're going to start backfilling them trenches and get some more dirt led up to the front of the house on the side of the driveway. The farmer fortunately has already been, and he's taken a couple of real big scoops with his farm forklift, you know, with a, well, I call them greedy buckets on. I suppose maybe a corn bucket, but it's a massive great bucket. There's the boy. I wonder if he prefers army life. I'll have to ask him. And for a father and son team, we're not doing too bad, because I've only kind of gotten a bit pissed off once, and I do keep forgetting that he's only a young lad. And, you know, you don't realise sometimes how much you've learnt through your life until you start working with another young lad and you realise I know absolutely bugger all. But he's done real well. He's worked real hard, and I'm yeah, well happy. So anyway, we'll get down there, we'll start backfilling. Got a massive great heap of muck the other side of there, look. We'll get as much of that in the trench work down there as we can, and then start leading the rest of it out up to the driveway. So we'll see what happens next. So this is where we've got to, boys and girls. Obviously I've got those manhole lids to trim down yet, as they're a little bit high, and the vent pipe as well. But we've got cleared up all the way up to the back of the house near the block paving. So we've got this pile of dirt here I'm sat on to get rid of. I've got a heap of topsoil in front of me there, which I'm going to spread around here. and then we're kind of fighting the weather because I got most of that muck from down there moved yesterday, but it rained, it pissed it down in here late afternoon, and it was raining this morning. I mean, you can see over there, I'll just see if I can zoom in a little bit where Jack's been going up and down with the, yeah, look, you can see how muddy and bloody horrible it is. Now, it's actually been fine all day, although, you look up there, look, it's grey, but it hasn't been raining, but it's now started spitting, and it wasn't forecast any rain this afternoon or tomorrow, so we've tried to keep working up here, to sort of keep underneath the trees and that, and work with this topsoil a bit, so we're not, you know, it's that sort of ground that when you stand in it, all of a sudden within, you know, 3 or 4 minutes you're 3 inches taller, because it just sticks everywhere. So, but anyway, we'll crack on, and then hopefully the next bit of video I'll do will be as all finished apart from the block paving. And that little thing I've said before, that's been a godsend, that little bumper. Brilliant. So, I've got that last bit there to finish off. If you see that length of black pipe there, the smaller stuff, I've got to put a separate soak in from your water softener, because apparently we don't want that in here. And if you can see on the floor, we've just seeded everything. 2 kilos of grass seed. All the lids now are cut down, apart from the vent pipe and the main lid. All that over there is seeded, and we've just, see the hose pipe down here, we've just watered all the grass seed in. I'll have to keep doing it a bit for a week or two to see if it'll get itself established. I've got that, the old pond liner to, I'll just got to cut it all up with a Stanley knife, I think. And down here's the bottom end. We're all sort of tidied up best we can. I would say maybe this time next year, or next spring at least, we'll maybe have to get a bit of topsoil delivered, because we'll have a few bits that have sunk, but it shouldn't sink by too much. I did track it in all the trenches, so my garden now seems a hell of a lot bigger than it did before. So anyway, I think I will conclude it at that, and yeah, it's not been a bad job to do really. I was lucky I had my son here to help me. It's been a godsend really, because otherwise you're on and off the digger all the time just to move little bits and do things in, and it just helped so much. The little dumper was brilliant. So I've got about, I don't know what I've got, maybe 4 ton of muck at the front of the house that the farmer's going to come and collect this afternoon. The little dumper went back this morning, and I shall ring my mate up and ask him if he'll come and collect the digger tomorrow. And then it'll just be a case of wait and see what it looks like when the grass comes through. It's a rye grass mix what I've got, which is for fairly hardy conditions. So I've got all that lot to cut up, and all that lot over there, in there, all that brush that come out, all the plants and that around the old pond. I'll just put them all through the shredder. My little blackbird friend is still here again, look, there she goes. Christ knows how many worms and grubs she's had this week. Well, the last couple of weeks, but she's had plenty. So, this is, like I say, I've got this bit to do, which I'm not too fussed. Everything's running. We've even seeded down the side here where we was running down with the dumper. And if I come around here, I've got, out of the 10 ton of stone, I've got a little bit left there, which I'm going to spread around here once it's done. You might not be able to see it on camera, but here, see where those black dots are, like there, the block paving's gone down a little bit. It's where the front wheel of the farm forklift's been, and he's been shaking the bucket up and down to get a bit more in. But if that's the only sort of thing damage wise I've got to worry about after all this, then I'll take that, because it won't take me much to pull them blocks out, put some more sharp sand underneath. So that's the heap of muck that we've got left. I should say there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, might be up to 6 ton there, but we'll soon get that shifted, and then it'll be the power off, wash it out, and power wash all the driveway and everything off. And yeah, I'm glad it's done. Oh, the only other thing I've got left to do is I've got the electric cable into the workshop, but I've yet to put power to it. I've got the plug and that to go on it, but until the tank's full, there's no point in switching it on anyway, so I'll be a while yet before I get to that bit. But anyway, thanks for watching, boys. I hope you found some of it interesting. We'll see what comments we get on this one. Bit different to the normal machining like, I know, but you know, sometimes you've got to step out your comfort zone a bit, haven't you? You take your time, and it's amazing, well, surprising what you can do. So, right, we'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Fit for a princess, look.
Thank you very much indeed. 2,000, 7,000, 27,000 pounds, what'll it be?
All right, sweetie.
Go for the 27. But we don't know what for.
Speak, I can tell the House that we will also reopen restaurants and pubs.